Hey everybody, TacBishop here. Thought I'd do a video real quick on the SHTF WROL situations where, you know, catastrophe strikes, wipes everything out all at once. If you ever think about trucking is, at this time, is called just-in-time trucking, which means that a majority of the merchandise that you get in the grocery stores or the big box stores or whatever is still in the trucks in between the shipper and the receivers. So if there was a major catastrophe that shut the entire grid down, a big percentage of all your merchandise is still going to be on trucks, you know, whether it's grocery trucks, what have you. So you're going to have these trucks, either you're going to have a bunch of truck drivers with a lot of the food not delivering it. They're going to have all the gas, they're going to have all the food, they're going to have all the electronics, they're going to have all the kerosene, or a big part of it anyway. Because these stores, you know, you take your major grocery store, they probably get supplied at least twice a day with a tractor trailer. And you know, people think there's an endless supply of groceries in there, but if it really got bad and everybody hit all the grocery stores at once trying to stock up, you've got about a 2-day supply inside of a grocery store that's not being restocked. So anyway, the point I'm getting at, I was going to show how to get a tractor trailer going. The older models anyway. I don't know about this new stuff, but I'd say 2003 back, pretty easy to get going. I'm sure how to work the transmission in case when everything breaks down and you're Mad Max out there and you find a truck to haul a tanker, you'll know how to get it going. There probably won't be any keys in it. So here's how you get one going. A rough. Just find your starter switch, rip the wires out, touch the wires together, you'll find your hot wire. Then you'll find your electrical wire, your electrical circuit wire, and you'll know because it'll make a sound like that when you get the right wires together. Now, you could probably find a starter wire there also, but if you can't, if you get this humming sound, just get your screwdriver. I'm sorry I'm going to have to go out into the wind, but something like this blue circuit, all you have to do is just short the two bigger bolts out. There you go. So when the world comes to an end and you need a truck, that's how you would start it. Now you can't start all of them like that, I understand that. A lot of the newer trucks, I'm not familiar with their electrical systems at all, but these are, you know, there's a million of these trucks going to be sitting around if the civilization or the current way of life just goes down. These trucks are going to be sitting everywhere, and they're going to be need to move out of the way, or you're going to need to haul your people in or whatever you need to do. But that's the easiest way to start it. Now I'm going to show you how to shift one. They all have a shifting pattern posted in the truck. This is an Eaton Fuller 10-speed. It's got a high-low transmission. You hear it clicking. After you get everything going, the truck running, there'll be a parking brake and an air supply brake, or air supply for the trailer. This actually releases the trailer brakes. It takes 60 pounds of pressure to release the brakes. I guess it's a safety measure they put in. If you were to drive across a log or something and it tore all the air lines off the trailer, you know, like in a car system, if you lost your air lines or brake lines, you wouldn't have any brakes. This, if you lose your airlines, you have all brakes. It just immediately locks down, so I guess it's just a safety measure, but you gotta have at least 60 pounds for this button to stay down. If you hear this sound, there's a low air warning. It starts at about 70. You got to about 60 to get off the road. So if you hear that, it gets your attention because you're not always looking at the air gauges. But it'll get your attention. If you hear that buzzer and you look down, your gauges are low, you got to get it off the road as quick as possible, or it's going to shut you down right in the middle of a highway. And it won't move because all wheels will be locked. Okay, now the air pressure's built back up. I'm going to push in the air brake. That's the parking brake. The yellow is the parking brake. If I can push it back over here. Okay, the transmission works off a synchronizer. It's the reason you don't have to use the clutch every time you change gears. Some people argue that you do have to use the clutch, but I've been driving for 30 years and I've never used the clutch to change gears, and I've never had any excessive wear on the clutch. But to get it in gear, it won't go in gear. You hear it scraping. It won't go in gear unless you put the clutch all the way to the floor. There's a clutch brake at the bottom. Push it all the way down, it'll go into gear easily. Now if it doesn't go into gear easily, you just back off the clutch just a little bit and it'll go in. So now it's in gear, it's in the low position. The synchronizer is set on this truck at about 1300. So I can rev the engine all the way up to 2000, and I put pressure on the transmission or on the shifter. When I let off the throttle, I wait till it goes down to about 15 and it'll pop out because I'm already putting pressure. So now it'll come out, but if I have the clutch out and there's pressure on the transmission, it won't come out. When it hits 15, it'll pop out. When it hits 13, pop it back in to the next gear. That's the way you go through the pattern. It won't change unless you do it correctly. I'll show you the wrong way to do it. Now to let the clutch out, instead of fighting, people always fight with the clutch and the throttle, or you hear people in the car, they give it some gas, let the clutch out, then they take off either screaming tires or it chokes off on them. Any vehicle you get in that's got a manual transmission, learn your clutch. All you have to do is learn the clutch, put it in gear, and you let it out easy, and you see it's starting to move, it's starting to work. So I've always been able to do this. You know, some people, when the light turns red or green, if they had a traffic light, cars behind them, they think they got to take off like a rocket. You know, you take off, you drive like you want to drive. So if the light turns green, you know where the clutch is working, you dump the clutch, now we're moving. Now I can let the clutch go. Now I can get on the throttle, go up to over 1500 RPMs, put pressure, let go. See, it will not go in unless you got it on 13. Now if you're still rolling, it's not in gear. Okay, here we go. Go by the sound of the engine after you get used to it. Now stopping is a whole different thing. I'm on a closed road. This road is closed, so there's no danger out here. When I'm coming up on a stop, bump it out of gear. Bump it out of gear. As I'm rolling to a stop, I still have it on the high side of the transmission. When I get down about 15 miles an hour, I'll push it down to the low side and start putting pressure on the transmission. I push it back in gear, then I get on my clutch. Now I'm sitting here, clutch down, I do it again. ease out on transmission, without using the throttle. Now I can get into the throttle. Get turns of the camera won't turn over. Go back to the high side. Go back to first position or 6th gear. See, if you don't do it, if you let the engine die all the way down, it just scrubs. It won't go in. Just race it back up to 1300 RPM to pop right back in gear. Go up to 15, pull, let go, pull, boom, boom. Now coming up to a hill this time, it's going to be a little harder. Because you have to work the brake and the clutch. So I push it down to low, put pressure on transmission just as it stops. It goes in gear, grab the clutch. Now I have to hold the brake here, I'm going to roll backwards. So I'm holding the brake, let the clutch out, I feel it starting to work, then let go the brake. Now I can get on the throttle. I'm trying to turn the camera over. Here it goes again. Try to show something else now if I can. Try to zoom in on that mirror out there. Yeah, that mirror is the mirror I watch. This is the main thing about turning. You have to watch your trailer. There's a median up here. I turn to the left. I don't know if that mirror's going to show up like I want to. But you drive as big as possible. Watch the trailer in the mirror. Make sure you don't drag it across anything. There's the median. I'm barely missing the median. Now we're good to go. Just drive as big as possible. Make sure you don't drag your trailer through a ditch or across the car. You don't want to hit a curb. Sometimes a curb will bend the rim and pop a tire, so you don't want to do that. But that's how you do it. And you get up here. I just pop it out of gear when I'm going to stop. Check it. You hear the high-low working. Just hit the brake now. I don't have to use the clutch. Because I'm stopping for good. Set the brakes. Set the parking brakes again. Most of the time, if you pull the yellow one, the red one will pop out also. Sometimes if you pull the red one, the yellow one won't. But if you want to disengage from the trailer, just push the yellow one down. This one holds the brakes on the trailer. Here's the hand brake. It just works the trailer brakes. When you hook to a trailer before you drive away, it's best to pull this down and pull away and see if the trailer's hooked. You know, just gently pull away. You start separating, you don't have a hook at the back. Then you pull these two together. I'll shut the engine off so you can hear it better. And they pop. Now it's shut down. And you're out of gear. And that's it. So now you know how to start a truck when the end of the world happens. You can be Mad Max and get that tanker and save the day. TacBishop, Eastern North Carolina, signing out.